Welcome to the Big Match Revisited, a chance to look back at the way football was televised 4 decades ago. This edition was shown in April 1977, the day after the legendary racehorse Red Rum had won his 3rd Grand National at Aintree. But it was all about the football in the Big Match studio.
Welcome again to the Big Match, and 3 matches of great importance on the programme today, as you've seen. The main match, West Ham against Everton, so crucial to West Ham's fight for survival. Also Manchester City against Ipswich, between 2 of the top 3 in the First Division, and what a finish we've got there. And then into the 3rd Division for a crunch match there between 2 promotion hopefuls, Rotherham and Crystal Palace. So a lot of great action today and great goals to go with it too. And we start at Upton Park, the home of West Ham, for their match against in-form Everton. The West Ham team strengthened by the return of the former Arsenal striker John Radford to their attack. He's missed a couple of games with a back injury. It's good to see him back at a time when West Ham now reach the critical period of their fight against relegation, even though Radford is yet to score for his new club. His experience and strength in the air could be vital. As for Everton, manager Gordon Lee has dropped Duncan McKenzie and Andy King, and Bruce Rioch is injured, but one player given his first chance for 3 months or so is George Telfer at number 10, with Brian Hamilton at 7 and Terry Darracott now at number 6. And one player in tremendous form, Bob Latchford, 20 goals this season, only 8 fewer than the whole of West Ham have got in the league. Here's John Radford, and what an important time for him now to get on the mark for West Ham. The referee is Les Burden from Dorset, and now the sunshine crowd waits for the start.
And away we go. Everton attacking the goal to our right in an all-yellow strip against West Ham's claret and blue shirts, white shorts, white stockings. The start of such an important 10 days for West Ham when they play 5 games that could well decide their future as a First Division club. And of course, if they get off to a good start here, although people complain that it's a rather congested fixture list, if they get off to a good start and avoid injuries, there's nothing like playing another game quickly if you're on a winning run. And West Ham have won 4 of their last 6. Here's Billy Bonds. And that's David Lawson's ball before Brian Robson can get it. Tommy Taylor's header, but straight to Goodless. Kevin Locke now for West Ham. Cut out well by Dobson. Looking. After so much rain in recent weeks, a really dry ground, and ball will play 1 or 2 tricks as Lampard gets it in and gets it in well there. Just wanted a touch there from Jennings, he couldn't quite apply it. Taylor's header. Devonshire turning that on, but Brian Hamilton there. Oh, it's on off Devonshire for Brooking. Played on again for Radford, just onside. Billy Jennings coming up fast as well, and he hit that hard behind, when maybe pulling it back to Robson or Jennings might have been more profitable. Gordon Lee in the centre. Steve Burtonshaw, Rangers and Arsenal fans remember him, on the left. And Jim Pearson, the substitute, on the right. Brooking to Devonshire. Bonds. Devonshire. Locke. Lampard. Radford. And a West Ham throw. Lampard with it. Here's Radford. And that's a corner for West Ham. Brooking will take it. Good taker of corners. Bonds has come up. Bradford's on the far side. Robson making a run towards the near post. Played short here to Lampard. There's the little chip going in towards John Radford. And Everton were in a little bit of trouble there until David Jones got it away. Jennings making a good run away from his marker, Mike Lyons. Devonshire. Oh, he didn't quite clear Latchford. And now a good run now for Goodlass. Oh, when he's seen... Oh, and he's a goal! What brilliant thinking there by Ronnie Goodlass. One out of the blue and showed that the fella was thinking all the time. It was Latchford who put him on. He stopped and looked up, saw Mervyn Day was a good 7 yards off his line, and from 40 yards lobbed it over his head. A terrible setback there for West Ham. Ronnie Goodlass, and that's only the second goal he scored, and the first he scored since October. Well, I would think Mervyn Day will be kicking himself for that. Oh, Jennings! Well, that disease was nearly spreading because Lawson was badly placed for that one. And Jennings' header very nearly made it. So as Lawson clears it, Mervyn Day ponders that slightly faulty positioning. Lampard. And an Everton throw. McNaught. Straight to Brooking. Here's Robson. Jennings. Devonshire outside him. It's Pejic this time. Here's Devonshire again, having a lively opening quarter of an hour. Brooking. Played nicely there for Jennings. Radford's right in there. Jennings hopeful of getting in there. Devonshire's in there too. Jennings turning it in. Oh, across the face of that Everton goal, so close to being the equaliser. And a lot of the credit there going to Alan Devonshire, who's had a very good opening quarter of an hour. Played well there with a great deal of dogged determination. Got the ball back to Jennings, hit it first time across the face of that Everton goal. Radford's header. Well, it might have come back for Robson, but not quite. West Ham pouncing on everything that's loose, and here's Billy Bonds. Radford playing it in for Robson now. No, kicked away there by Pejic. West Ham showing a lot of spirit in spite of that early setback. Bonds right in there. And when the ball finally came through to Brian Robson, kicked off the line. Lock. Too high for Brooking. Bonds. Robson. Brooking. Good cross by him, and a penalty given. Well, Radford bundled in the back there. The long cross that came over from Trevor Brooking. Radford bundled to the ground, and the referee, without hesitation, pointing to the penalty spot. And it looks as though it's going to be Brian Robson. One penalty success for him so far this season, and what an important kick for him now against David Lawson. So Robson, a man with a heavy responsibility. Here he goes, and he's got it. 1-1. 29 minutes. And a smile there from Trevor Brooking. A great relief on the face of Brian Robson. Hitting that to the left of Lawson, just beyond his reach. 1-1. Everton have come and they've defended in great great strength, and West Ham sorely needed a break like that. Hedging. Latchford. Good run, Everton. 10 without defeat. Goodless turning it in. Locke getting it away. Never any doubt about the penalty. Quite probably awarded. Bonds, again, more determination. Devonshire, great determination. That was, well, I couldn't see from this angle what sort of challenge that was, but it was clear that West Ham didn't think much of it. Billy Bonds pushing Darracott away, and the referee, in fact, has given him the yellow card. Let's look again, a 50-50 ball that. And Darracott gets the yellow card. Billy Bonds, 10 minutes to half-time. Smiling, that suggests that maybe the injury to Alan Devonshire is not too bad. Bonds with the free kick, Devonshire okay. Oh, a pass back there by Hamilton that could have caused trouble but didn't. Fighting on West Ham, McNaught now being harassed by Brian Robson, and Pidgeot getting it away. Locke reacting first there before Telfer. Here's Brookie. He played with a lot of spirit, West Ham. Long clearance that time by Darracott. Billy Bonds. Lyons. Oh, and a good shot there by Devonshire. He burst in on that one to the great surprise of Everton, but not in the end. David Lawson nicely behind it. Billy Bonds. It's Lampard. Robson very tight in there, and it might come yet for Radford, and he had to hit it as it fell, and indeed as he fell, and he caught it on the out. Brooking. Played on again for Lampard. Oh, that was another corner. And I think they'll probably just about have time to take it and no more. Well, they've got a delay while Trevor Brooking goes across there and takes it now. The referee looking at his watch again. Bonds couldn't get the header in, and Everton finally get it away as the whistle goes for half-time. Well, a lot of spirit there from West Ham, particularly after that setback after 10 minutes when Ronnie Goodless scored that incredible goal from some 45 yards over Mervyn Day. And they battled away and really deserved an equaliser, even though it came from the penalty spot and Brian Robson. I fancy we might have a second half full of action and fury, and let's hope 1 or 2 goals as well. But a half-time then at Upton Park. West Ham 1, Everton 1. We'll be right back with that second half. Welcome back to Upton Park then. 1-1 the half-time score. West Ham now attacking the goal to our right. Here's Otto Lukowski. Bonds and Devonshire. Couldn't quite get to Bonds, not quite the way he wanted it, and now he's got a bit of a problem there with Goodness. Tommy Taylor in. Everton with really quite a programme, quite apart from the league. Of course, involved still in a semi-final of the FA Cup and that never-ending saga of the League Cup final. There's Darracott. Lampard, the header to Robson. And again, the pattern of the first half with them bringing everybody back, but Brooking still turning it across there. My goodness, that just needed somebody to be positioned at that far post, and it would have been interesting. Goodless getting it away now for Everton. Well, they're bringing on their substitute, in fact. Telfer's going off. And Jim Pearson is on. Used to have been in the air so often this afternoon. Now it's on the ground with Robson. Lyons stopping him. Gordon Lee in the background there, the Everton manager. He's the manager who believes in discipline and hard work, and it's very hard-working Everton side and well-disciplined in defence. But can Brooking get past them? Can Robson get past them? No, McNaught is there. Robson. You can just see there again just how many yellow shirts are back in these situations. Look at them all there, in and around that Everton penalty area. Oh, just pushed away. Lampard's long shot by Lawson. By Lampard, pushed away there by Lawson. Almost to repeat in a funny sort of way of Douglas's goal. And Lawson just getting there in the end. Brooking with the corner. Hit it low towards Robson. On the far side is Radford. Well, that could easily have been swept into that Everton goal with a little bit of luck. Brooking hit that corner in low, and it came across to the far side where Radford was. Instead, it's a goal kick. Hamilton. Oh, Pearson got beyond Locke. And a goal for Everton, scored by Pearson. Well, another shattering blow for West Ham. They've been pushing forward, having so much of the game. And Everton have done them on the break again. Pearson getting in behind Kevin Locke, taking it to the right of the goal and beating Day with a really powerful low shot. West Ham 1, Everton 2. And Jim Pearson, the scorer of the second goal for Everton. So West Ham have got to do it all again. Brooking. And McNaught, a free kick to West Ham, right on the edge of that Everton penalty area. Well, if West Ham can bounce back quickly, they may have the chance now. So Lawson lining up his wall. Against that right-hand post so that he covers the left-hand side of the goal as he is standing at it anyhow. Now Brooking and Lampard lining up behind this one. Plenty in the wall, including Brian Robson. And Lampard driving it, but it's skewed off the wall. It'll come to Brooking again, and that time charged down by Pearson. And a throw to West Ham. Well, these are worrying times for John Wall. Pejic. That time both Pearson and Latchford well offside. Bonds with the long clearance. Free kick. Foul by Lyons on Radford. And Darracott getting right in front of that ball so that Brooking couldn't play the quick one. Well, now can Tommy Taylor get it? Rifling it across the goal there. And again, for the want of a touch, West Ham would have been level. And that was amazing, the way that's gone off there for Tommy Taylor. And sensibly playing the ball in across that 6-yard area. But alas for West Ham, nobody in claret and blue was there. Now for Bonds. Another go. This time finding Robson. Here's Devonshire. Bonds again. Devonshire battling that challenge of Dobson. Taking on Pejic. Oh, and he got a corner. That was a nice rippling little run by Alan Devonshire, and maybe he just took it a little too far because two Everton players were filling in there to prevent the cross. But he's got this corner, which Brooking will take. That'll come for Otulakowski. Mishit badly. Lampard, will he drive one in there? Playing it wide for Tommy Taylor. Everybody up for West Ham now. And a push, yes, surely, no. Well, he's given a free kick. He's given a free kick to West Ham on the 6-yard line, or just a yard outside it. That presumably must have been obstruction, but it's, I must say, a curious decision. Because it certainly seemed to be exactly the same thing that had happened to Radford in the first half. Down goes Jennings. And the referee gives a free kick. Indirect, but that Everton wall must at least be on the goal line. It's, of course, impossible for them to be back the full 10 yards. Now, Brooking, just look at them on that goal line. Now, are we going to get a really spectacular goal here somehow through that wall? There's a bit of scurrying and scuffling going on the line there. West Ham desperate for something here. Lampard hitting it inevitably straight against the wall, and Latchford can bring it away now for Everton. Bobble and a throw. Here's Locke. Played in again for Robson. In across towards there for Billy Jennings. Couldn't quite get the contact he wanted. Proof that West Ham, even with all those Everton players back, can get in behind them, as Robson and Jennings contrived to do there. Pearson. Now perhaps Everton can spring out. Goodless. In fact, they've got 2, 4, 5 men up now. Goodless taking on Tommy Taylor. There's a bit of ball skill there. Beautiful play by Goodless. And it's just too high. Well, what about that for a bit of delicate ball skill on the ground? By Ronnie Goodless. Push Tommy Taylor up, I think, was the message, if my lip reading is right. Here's Locke. Brooking. Crossed in once more towards Radford again. McNaught is there. Otulakowski! Radford and McNaught have had quite a battle all afternoon. McNaught has won a good share of the balls in the air as he did then, but it came out to young Anton Otulakowski. Cracked it in there, but wide. Oh, Pearson finding Goodless. Towards the near post, and Latchford, and straight into the arms of Day. Now, here is Tommy Taylor. You saw the message yourself a bit earlier by John Lyle saying get forward. Robson turning it on now for Jennings. Crossed in again there for Robson! 2-2! Well, the little man's second goal, and what a welcome one for West Ham with 7 minutes left. Taylor playing his part, going up that left touchline, and when the ball came in for Brian Robson, a flick of the neck muscles, and it was past David Lawson for West Ham's second goal. West Ham 2, Everton 2. And we have just about 7 minutes left, and we have quite a finish on our hands. Now, will Everton still continue to seek to contain West Ham and look for something on the breaks, as they've done all this game so far? And will West Ham be able to knock over that yellow wall again? Here's David Jones with Goodless coming up fast on this side. Hamilton going into the middle, and Taylor stretching out and getting a free kick. Day's taken it. West Ham sensing that this is a match they could win now. Robson. Locke. Jennings. Locke again. Played in for Lampard. Look how far up he is. My goodness, that was nearly there too. And Radford keeps it in. Played wide. Billy Bonds. Crossed in once more. Good cross too, and a good catch by Lawson. And a good finish here at Upton Park. But as that one skimmed across that Everton penalty area, across the 6-yard box again, all that was required was a touch. I must say, apart from picking the ball out of the net a couple of times, Mervyn Day has had so little to do as Everton have come back, or come here rather, determined more than anything else to defend and look for what they can find on the breakaway. A little over 2 minutes left. Ken McNaught with the free kick for Everton. There's a little over a minute left. Taylor to Brooking. Out to Lukowski. He's not stopped running all afternoon. A little chip now for Billy Jennings. Lions right back there. And a corner for West Ham, although it looked to me a push in the back by Jennings on Lions. So can West Ham seize something in the last seconds that remain? Jennings with that corner. Radford waiting to lead. And Robson very nearly getting in. And in the end it was turned back by Lyons to Lawson. Here's Dobson. Dobson in quickly. Brooking versus Dobson, and Brooking winning it. Darracott shadowing him, so too is McNaught. Brooking's on his way. On supporting him. And West Ham get another corner. Well, as I say again, can they seize something in the seconds that remain? Billy Bonds hitting it in low. Devonshire, oh, just over. Ball played nicely there for Alan Devonshire, and he picked the right spot, at least the right part of the goal, except that his aim was just a little too high. Bonds again. Dobson. There goes the final whistle. And not so much a point lost as a point gained, I think, for West Ham. When you're in their position, you do have to keep picking up the odd point here and the odd point there. They had so much of the game against a defensive-minded Everton. But in the end, it finished a 2-2, with Brian Robson, number 8, going in there, getting the 2 West Ham goals. Jim Pearson having scored that second one for Everton. In fact, Ronnie Goodless, the number 11, the first. So Goodless and Pearson for Everton, 2 by Brian Robson for West Ham. And really a lot of effort by West Ham in getting this 2-2 draw. Final score, West Ham 2, Everton 2.
Yes, I thought that was a good performance by West Ham and worth at least the point they got. I was a little surprised to read Duncan McKenzie in this morning's News of the World saying I wouldn't put any of my money on West Ham or Spurs staying in the First Division. They haven't the character to battle out the trouble. I would have thought character was one thing that West Ham showed a lot of yesterday. They came back twice from being a goal behind. And they showed enormous determination to break down that wall of yellow Everton shirts, 8, 9 and 10 back in defence sometimes even 11. And they got behind them well on 1 or 2 occasions. But just count the yellow shirts here as Billy Bonds tries to hit this high ball in. 1 fella facing him, count those yellow shirts. 2 there, that fella just by the penalty area. 3, 4, 5, 6, the goalkeeper 7, 8, 9, and as the picture comes away to the left, 1 with his hands on his knees, 10 Everton men back in defence, and that's what West Ham faced. They had 80% of the game, and it was a tremendous job breaking it down. They broke it down 7 minutes from the end. A good throw out by Mervyn Day to Tommy Taylor. He'd been pushed forward, as you know, by John Lyle, and he seeks Brian Robson with a nice little pass, pushed forward there. What a nice touch by Robson too. A lot of people may have expected an early ball to come in there from Billy Jennings, but he decided he was going to beat David Jones, chipped it in very accurately, and what about that for a well-guided header? All those Everton defenders beaten at last over the head of David Lawson, and that made it 2-2. We spotted a nice little thing, in fact, as they came back to celebrate, that Jim Pearson, who'd earlier scored for Everton, the Everton player on the far side there, just comes up to Brian Robson. Well done. And that was very nice to see. Your heart goes out to people when they do that sort of thing in the heat of that particular moment. But what about West Ham's penalty and the one they thought they should have had in the second half? Well, in the first half, they got one when John Radford was bundled down. Trevor Brooking lifting the ball in with another of those tantalising crosses of his. And Mike Lyons, the Everton skipper, look on the left of the picture now, is the man who gets involved with Radford, bundles him over, and the referee decided that that was a penalty kick. I thought when I saw it first of all that the second incident in the second half was identical to the first, but the referee was well positioned and decided otherwise. Tommy Taylor here with a cross. Now look to the right of your picture. Again, it's Mike Lyons involved, and the referee decided on that occasion, as we take it back again, you'll get another look at that, that was obstruction by the Everton number 4 and gave that indirect free kick. So West Ham were a little bit unlucky there, so they felt. But the referee was well placed, and certainly the bottom of the First Division now makes very fascinating reading. West Ham started the day at the bottom and indeed stay at the bottom, but it's so tight in there. Even Spurs, who seem to have lifted themselves that little bit clear, look, have played 3 games more, 33 to West Ham's 30. A lot of excitement yet to come at the bottom of the table. And West Ham's next immediate engagement is away to Queen's Park Rangers tomorrow night. Manager John Lyle, I think, breathed a sigh of relief because there are no West Ham injuries and he can name an unchanged side. I spoke to the QPR manager, Dave Sexton, today, who tells me that Jerry Francis and Dave Thomas may be ready for this game, but he'll only decide that tomorrow, but that Dave Clement, his fullback, is still very doubtful. So the battle goes on for the Hammers, but I don't think there's any doubt at all that whatever the outcome, they really have found a fine young prospect in Alan Devonshire. And I took the opportunity of a quick word with him after the game when I asked him about West Ham's performance.
Well, we've been playing well for quite a few weeks, apart from Sunderland, even Ipswich the other week, which again we gave away a silly goal and put the pressure back on us. We pushed forward and we left too many gaps. But the last 5 weeks we have really been playing well.
Yeah. The situation's a bit difficult now, though, isn't it?
Yes, you have to look at the results and the games ahead, but I think we can do it. There's no point that we can't do it. Well, just keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah. Why do you say you think you can do it? What is it about you that makes you think?
Well, we've got so many good players. Trevor and Bill, Tommy come straight back in the side and done well today. The whole side really works for each other and battles. And as I say, there's so many good players.
Yes.
I think we will get out of trouble.
But I think most West Ham fans would accept, Alan, that although it's been a disappointing season, you've been one of the good things in that season, the way you've played. You didn't really show an awful lot of pressure today.
Well, no, like the players have been tremendously, towards me all the time since I've been here, and the crowd have been great as well. They're always helping me all the time, and I don't really feel any pressure, But now I think I'm just about probably now that it's starting to come that we really are struggling, that we feel it a little bit now.
And another 4 games in the next 9 or 10 days, starting at QPR on Monday night.
Yeah, I live not far from Queen's Park Rangers, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Yes.
And we've got 3 games, Friday, Saturday and Monday. If we can win probably 2 out of the 3 over that period, I think we're in with a chance again.
But most people went away from Upton Park yesterday knowing that they'd seen probably the most amazing goal of the season, a real candidate for our Golden Goals competition that comes up in the next few weeks, that remarkable chip from Everton's Ronnie Goodless. In fact, it's Alan Devonshire who gives the ball away there, that pass not quite clearing Bob Latchford. Look at Mervyn Day at the other end of the field, way outside the penalty area, some 20 yards at this point out of his goal. A nice guided header there by Latchford, and what about this for some quick thinking again? Apparently he says that he changed his mind a couple of times, then he saw Mervyn Day still 8 yards off his line, and that takes a bit of courage, a lot of skill, and a fair ration of cheek as well. And it's moments like that when the faces of goalkeepers go bright red. Overall, I thought it was a great afternoon's entertainment at West Ham. And for me, I'm still convinced that if they play as they did yesterday, that they are too good and there's too much spirit in the side for them to go down. We shall see. Our second match today, though, takes us into the third division, where another of our London clubs, Crystal Palace, are making a late run for one of the 3 promotion places there. Yesterday, they had a real test of their nerve and their ability when they were away to Rotherham, who were lying second. Yorkshire's cameras were at Rotherham, the commentators Martin Tyler, Palace in white.
A good, solid challenge from Womble. And Harkouk really going back at him, and he's in trouble with the referee, Mr. Willis. He's got a bit of a track record in the past, Rashid Harkouk. Began the season with a 2-month ban for offences in non-league football last season. He's been working really hard on curbing his temperament, and he gets away with no more than a quiet word of warning. Headed in by Stancliffe. This time beaten by Perrin. Back in again, though, from Breckin. And down for Guider. Oh, yes! David Guider! And in his 50th league game for Rotherham, David Guider, right out of the blue, puts his side in front. It was really just knocked around on the edge of the area, but it fell for Guider, who let it bounce, took it beautifully, and it really flashed past Tony Burns. And it certainly looked as though Tom McAllister took too many steps that time, quite rightly penalised for it. The referee was keeping a close eye on him as he carried the ball forward. So for the second time, Tony Burns already penalised once in the first half. Now a real chance for Palace to get back into this game. And a difficulty for Rotherham of their own making. And they've got everyone back. 5 men there in the wall. Guider, the 6th, might be joining it. Holder. Will it be the tap to one side for Harkouk, who's a fine striker of the ball. Again, Holder making sure, and he's in trouble now in order to take it. Mr. Willis. It is. So Phil Holder goes into the book for taking too long over taking the free kick. It really is quite odd that a year ago, a game here, a different referee, a lot of incidents in that particular game, it was sendings off. But now we've had 3 bookings in a game that you'd never describe as dirty. And there's the yellow card. Phil Holder, the recipient. But it's still with Palace. And Rotherham's concentration now has to stand the test of that delay. And it goes for Harkouk, and it's in! Harkouk scores. Not a lot of Palace fans here, but delight for them. So the goalkeeper penalised for taking too many steps. And when the free kick eventually came after the booking, it was a little tap to Rashid Harkouk, and it's number 9 of the season for him. And what an important one for Crystal Palace.
Indeed it was. So they really are forcing their way back into the running again at Palace. But now it's time for your letters, and the first one today comes from Mrs. K. Luckhurst of 6 Water Tower House, 97 Camden Hill Road, Kensington W8. Just a line to let you know I'm a QPR fan, she says. I thought it was a bit bad a few weeks back that there was no mention of Stan Bowles having his leg broken in 2 places. Well, indeed, that was last month against Bristol City. I'm delighted to tell you now that Stan has now finished with hospital, although it looks as though there are some compensations there as well, and that his double break is beginning to heal nicely. The bones have been pinned, they're nicely in line, and Stan will be in plaster for about another 4 or 5 weeks, but he should be ready for the start of next season. I'm happy to say, though, that he left hospital on Friday. And next season, Rangers fans hope, I'm sure, he'll be scoring goals like this one against Sunderland earlier this season.
But now they can come away. And Thomas, the man, probably the fastest of all, and Bowles onside. Siddle's come roaring out of his goal. Now, what will Bowles do? Onto the left foot, he'll hope. No, onto the right foot. That's there, that's two, and that's Bowles.
And good luck to Stan. Well, we've reflected from time to time the letters that I've been getting from Australia. We thought it was about time we turned things the other way around and came out to see you. So we've had a camera, in fact, in Sydney, picking up not only its famous landmarks like the bridge and the famous Opera House, but when reporter Martin Royal went to Bondi Beach, he found one or two things that might cheer up our day as well in that beautiful Australian sunshine.
Yes, Brian, the sun is shining here in Australia. Bit of cloud about this morning, but I think we can still find you a pretty good suntan all the same, even though we're into autumn now and the football season's upon us. Do you happen to watch a program called The Big Match?
Yes, I do. Enjoy it very much.
Why?
Because I like English football, the stand of it really high.
It's a great show, great atmosphere, and gives you an idea of what soccer could be like.
Oh yeah, I like watching football. It reminds me of home a lot, and I like Tottenham.
I like it that much that I come home Monday afternoons from work earlier just to be home by 6 o'clock. So when it starts, my wife has to prepare the dinner earlier.
That's right. I cook different times on Mondays. It's soccer first, dinner afterwards.
Lived near Tottenham all my life, so I've always supported them. Well, and West Ham. It's great to watch them. Used to go every Saturday. I still see them on telly now. I'm in Australia.
I come from Newcastle. Yeah, so we have a personal feud. Except that we're not really shown on the big match.
The big match? I just wish I could get more time to watch it. I just don't manage to get the the time earlier on the Monday night. But on the Thursday night, yeah, I'll make sure I watch it now.
Our final match today is a beauty. Manchester City against Ipswich Town, two clubs who are really putting most pressure on that amazing Liverpool side. 42,000 fans were at Main Road for this one, so were Granada's cameras. Commentator Gerald Sinstadt, and here are Manchester City in the all-blue strip.
Kidd again. Barnes, let it run too far, and Hunter cleared. Wymark, Donachie. Kidd, Barnes away from one man and got a shot! Good save again by Cooper, but what an electrifying burst by Peter Barnes. The ball played into him, and it was a little knock forward, 2 strides in the shot, and Cooper had to thrash himself across to turn it aside. Watson. Barnes, Kidd, Barnes again. Clipped by Walk, and gets the free kick. Mr. Taylor has a word with John Walk. Hartford will take the free kick. Again, City have thrown Booth and Watson forward. Royal and Kidd in the area as well. It's headed away by Hunter, back in by Clements, out again by Mills, back in by Booth. Kidd is going on, and the referee has given the goal. Ipswich got it out twice, but then Booth nodded it through. Kidd managed to knock it down, chased it in, and the goal came from short range. 1-0 through Brian Kidd, and that'll be a little bit of a relief for him, because after he got his 4 in a game against Leicester, he'd only scored 1 goal in the last 11 matches. Walk to Lambert. Wymark. Watson's header. Talbot going after it. Clements has given away the corner. Ball still very lively in the wind. players of both sides in difficulties controlling it sometimes. Lambert to take the corner. It's a goodish one, and it's in by Woods, disallowed by Mr. Taylor. Sending him out presumably for a foul on Corrigan, who's down on his knees. It was a very good corner from Mickey Lambert. One that Corrigan felt he had to come for, didn't get to. Maybe that he was fouled as he tried, and Woods nodding it over the line. Turns around to find that Mr. Taylor is saying no goal. Watson. Owen. Talbot. Mills. Still Mills. Wymark. It's gone round Corrigan and has scored. So the tactical switch paid off. The appearance of Mills in midfield did the trick. He shook off the challenge from Gary Owen, went forward, was aware all the time that Trevor Wymark was running ahead of him, slipped the through ball neatly into Wymark's path. Wymark on, round Corrigan. The angle was a bit narrow, but no mistake. Barnes collecting a bit of a knock from Burley as he collected the ball, and City have a free kick. Donachie. Royal watching it drop out of the sun. Henry couldn't get a foot to it, and Woods puts it over his own crossbar. Complaining that he was pushed. Realises that he'll get no change from Mr. Taylor, and so it's everybody back. All 11 of the Ipswich players like a bed of daffodils in that penalty area. Corner from Barnes, and a beautiful header! Dave Watson! He's somewhere in there. Dave Watson with a magnificent header. The corner from Barnes swung wide and deep, and Watson walloped. It's his second goal of the season, and it surely won this match. Beattie forward. Watson is there. Puts it one side of Hunter and goes the other. Beattie has seen the danger, and the ball's a goal kick. Woods. Lambert to Wymark. Lambert. Tibbett. Oh, there's danger here, and Talbot has put it over. The cross from Tibbett came behind the defence. Tommy Booth seemed mesmerised. Talbot was surprised, and Corrigan was relieved.
And we've got to the point of the season when a miss like that can mean such a lot in the final reckoning. The top of the table in the First Division, Liverpool still at the top, 2 points clear. Ipswich second, Manchester City third now, and Newcastle, having won at Birmingham yesterday, move up to fourth. Well, that's it. We leave you today with three of our big match goals. One late in the game that revives the hopes of West Ham, one late in the game that keeps Manchester City in the hunt, and of course that one by Ronnie Goodless of Everton that for skill and cheek was as good as any we've seen all season.
Robson turning it on now for Jennings. Crossed in again there for Robson!
Players like a bed of daffodils in that penalty area. Corner from Barnes, and a beautiful header! Dave Watson!
Devonshire. Oh, he couldn't quite clear Latchford. And now a good run now for Goodlass. Oh, when he's seen, oh, and he's a goal! What brilliant thinking there by Ronnie Goodlass.